This is my latest video update, which will go out on my email newsletter on the 11th of October. It's been a very busy week in local government. Earlier this week, I attended a full meeting of Surrey County Council along with 80 other county councillors from across the county. These meetings are quite meaty in terms of their agendas, and the agenda and associated reports pack for that meeting can be found on the Surrey County Council website and on my Facebook page. If you have any questions whatsoever about the meeting, please do get in touch. Happy to answer any of those for you. There is a webcast of the meeting. It was several hours long, so if you're that way inclined, and you need a cure for your insomnia, then I recommend you watch that webcast. But yeah, if you have any questions, please do get in touch. I'll be happy to answer them for you. So my first update this week is on the Deepcut Bridge Road and the new verges and parking bays there, and some of the antisocial parking that's going on Deepcut Bridge Road there. Now, you know, it's quite unbelievable actually that people will park on those verges, clearly not intended to be parked on, but some people are doing that, and I would suggest they're probably not really residents of Deepcut that is doing that. I guess I think it's probably visitors to businesses like Deepcut Cafe and so on, but nonetheless they're causing a lot of damage there. So Skanska has erected some barriers as a temporary measure. They've got some wooden posts like you can see on some of the other larger verges there on order, and they're going to be installed in due course, but I'm afraid that we're going to be stuck with those ugly barriers until such time as those posts go in. There's also some people parking right across the pavement on the footpath and cycle path there. Now, as a cyclist, it's not really a big deal to me, to be honest. You know, it's dead easy for me to go around the car if it's parked on the pavement, onto the road and back onto the pavement again. It's not a big deal to me, but it would be a big deal if you are in a mobility scooter, if you're partially sighted, if you're a parent with a pushchair or wheelchair user. You get the drift. Forcing those vulnerable residents into a busy main road is out of order. So although I do think that it is visitors to Deepcut Cafe, even though they have a very large car park round the back of Deepcut Cafe, some people are just being lazy and parking right across the pavement. It is unacceptable, but unfortunately there are no parking restrictions in place there at the moment. That's something I'm working on, as well as some time limited restrictions put on those bays to stop them being abused. Now that will all form part of what's called a parking review. There is a process for that. I can't just have double yellow lines or any form of parking restrictions just imposed on my say-so. It has to go through a proper process, and that's called a parking review. My understanding is, so that is with the County Council Highways team. They're going to conduct that parking review. My understanding is at the end of this year, with a proposal that will be put forward to consultation to the community. I will have ultimate sign off on that, but I'm not going to sign off anything without fully consulting the community. And already, based on some of the other updates that I've given on this subject, I've had some communication from some residents who want to talk to me about any impact on them that parking restrictions would cause them. So obviously I'm very open to feedback from local residents. We want to get it right, so do contact me if you feel that any possible restrictions might impact you. I do want to hear from you, but like I said, it will go through a proper parking review process, and part of that will include consultation with the community. So it's not just going to happen without seeking your views first. I just want to raise some awareness about the closure of Woodend Road car park in Deepcut. So that's the main village car park, quite a well-used car park by local residents who are visiting the businesses there in the centre of Deepcut. The car park is going to have some parking suspension restrictions put on there on the 21st and 22nd of October due to urgent surface repairs. There'll be no waiting, no loading or no parking allowed during that time. So please do bear that in mind, and thank you to Steve Knight from Deepcut Garage for bringing this to my attention. It had slipped my notice. So please, if you are visiting the village on the 21st and 22nd of October, there will be no parking allowed in the village car park. So to the north of Deepcut Village now, and the Service Families area, or what was the Service Families area, the houses that are boarded up basically. Now, I have already updated on this, but there is all sorts of rumours flying around, and I've had quite a few interesting emails and direct messages on social media about some of the rumours that are flying around in respect to those properties. And the rumour is, are those properties going to be used to house asylum seekers? Now, unless there is some secret deal going on with Surrey Heath Borough Council that I'm not aware of, and I don't think this is the case. I have met with Annington Homes, who own those properties, and they've told me that that is not their business model. Their business model is to refurbish the properties. Some will be sold on the private market, and some will be rented out on the private market. Some will be completely knocked down and rebuilt, the worst of the properties, but there are quite a lot of properties there that are okay. They just need refurbishing, damp-proof coursing, sorting out roofs and all that sort of thing. And that is what they're working on now. And the reason why they're putting fences around them is just to keep inquisitive minds out of their young people, because essentially it will be an active building site. So the rumours, as far as I'm aware, are unfounded. I can understand people's concerns, but as far as I'm aware, and according to Annington Homes, that is not the case. And like I say, unless it's a secret deal that's going on with the Borough Council, I don't think that is going to be the case. So I will, as soon as I hear anything more about the Service Families area of Deepcut, I will of course keep residents informed via my community email newsletter. Now to the south of Deepcut Village at the Carla Homes Phase 1. So you may remember an update I did about the drop curbs, or the lack of drop curbs rather, that goes from the residential area onto the Sangs. So a number of residents contacted me about the fact that they're not very accessible. They're normal curbs that have been installed there that lead onto the Sangs, which runs alongside the Basingstoke Canal there. And they feel that those should be drop curbs to allow for mobility scooters, wheelchair users and people with mobility issues to get onto the Sangs easily. And I agree with them. So I contacted Carla Homes, who were very receptive to my inquiry. They dispatched some people down there to take a look at it, and I've now had confirmation that those access areas onto the Sangs will be, the current curbstones will be taken out and replaced with drop curbs to make accessibility much easier. So that's another one off the list, I'm pleased to say. I love it when that happens. But thanks to Carla Homes for being so responsive to my inquiry on this. And they have said to me that they have got to raise an order, to get the work done. It might not happen right away, but it is something that will happen, I'm pleased to confirm. And now to Frimley Green and the roundabout there. So the roundabout in the centre of the village, right by the village green, opposite Boots, the pharmacy, and Luff Associates estate agents. So just to give a bit of background, a lot of residents will remember that there was, as part of the Mindenhurst traffic mitigation scheme, there was originally the planning approval was to install 4-way traffic lights at the village green there. And after a resident-led campaign, those proposals were kicked into the long grass and replaced with a roundabout solution. And that came as a result of nearly 3,000, just short of 3,000 local residents completing my questionnaire and saying they didn't want traffic lights, they would prefer a roundabout solution. And in fact, of the nearly 3,000 people that completed that questionnaire, an astonishing 98%, just over 98% in fact, said they didn't want traffic lights, they wanted a roundabout solution. So as a result of that, we achieved almost a near impossibility of getting the planning approval changed to the roundabout solution, and that is all confirmed now. Now, I have received this morning some preliminary designs. They're by no means the final designs, they're preliminary designs of the new roundabout scheme there for the centre of Frimley Green. Now, I can tell you that this is not a consultation. We're not asking for, or the Highways Authority or Skanska are not asking for approval or people's views on the roundabout scheme. That's cast in stone, and we're not going to get that changed, no matter what people think about it. But there is one element of it that I do want to talk to residents about, because I think there is a possibility I might be able to get it adjusted, and that is they want to put in a grass verge in the middle of the road, literally opposite Boots the pharmacy there. And the reason why they want to do that is purely for aesthetic reasons. They want to put in some green there and make the environment look nice. It is purely aesthetic. However, it might mean that those people who want to, if they want to turn right and park outside the pharmacy, that will be a problem. And actually, when I was down there today, and you'll see in the video here, somebody actually did that. And if the grass verge that they're proposing to put in the middle of the road goes ahead, what it will mean is that people have to then go all the way down to the mini roundabout by King's Mews there and come back if they want to park outside the pharmacy. And that will cause some inconvenience to people. Now, it's funnily enough, I managed to speak to the lady who was in the car who turned right and parked outside the pharmacy there. I managed to speak to her when she came out the pharmacy and asked her what she thought of it. And she said it's not a problem to her. She wouldn't mind having to drive a bit further down and turn around at the roundabout. But and that's my view as well. I personally don't think it's a big problem. But it's not important what I think, it's important what you think. And if you want me to get that element of it adjusted, let me know. Because although I can't guarantee I can get the planners at County Council Highway Authority to change it, at least I can have a go. Nothing ventured, nothing gained. But yeah, let me know what you think about that, and if you want me to ask the Highway Authority to adjust that element of the plan. I just want to put residents in the picture about something that I've agreed to do that isn't related to Mytchett, Frimley Green and Deepcut. But one of my county councillor colleagues, Councillor David Lewis, who is the county councillor for Camberley West, is unfortunately quite poorly and is undergoing treatment at this moment in time. And as a result, he's having to take an extended leave of absence from his duties at Surrey County Council representing residents of Camberley West. So I've agreed to take over his casework while he's undergoing his treatment. Obviously, the fact that he's not well doesn't mean that life doesn't go on in Camberley West. So it's important that residents in Camberley West are represented. And David actually asked if I would do that for him. And of course I agreed to do that. But I just want residents of Mytchett, Frimley Green and Deepcut to know that that will not affect what I do for you. I'm still available to everybody. It just means that I'm taking on a slightly different area of responsibility in order to support my friend and colleague, Councillor David Lewis. If you are in Camberley West, or in the Camberley area of Surrey Heath, because I know that quite a few residents over there do subscribe to my email list. If you are one of those residents and you have any issues relating to your area that you want me to look into, do get in touch and I'll be happy to take that to officers at Surrey County Council and see if we can get any issues resolved. So that's it for my update this week. If you live in Mytchett, Frimley Green and Deepcut or Camberley West and want me to look into anything on your behalf relating to the community, in particular relating to the areas of responsibility of Surrey County Council, please do get in touch and I'll be happy to assist.